I'm trying to get set up for our egg mobile move tomorrow, and it's really time to get these birds in. Today we've got a really strong northeast wind. The ambient temperature is about 10 degrees Celsius, but the wind chill, that's nearly like 6 degrees, so it's really cold. Intermittent showers, our humidity is at 89%, not very favourable weather for poultry. So it's going to be good to get these guys docked in now. We're going to dock them in tomorrow, and I'm just trying to do a bit of prep here. And it's not going to be straightforward, but I'm confident I can get it done. I just don't know how long or easy it's going to be. But this is going to be one of my secret tools, and this is a pulley. This is a big pulley which I'll use in conjunction with my winch just to give me a lot more manoeuvrability, and hopefully this along with a few other tricks will help us get the job done. So I'm just going to go now and set up some lines so that they're all set up for tomorrow. Thankfully it's given dry morning, and I just want to, the birds are going to be stuck in the egg mobile while I move them in, and it's going to take me a while to get it moved, positioned into place, and I also have to make up a bridge between the egg mobile and the polytunnel before I can let them out. Now the birds have feed and water inside, so I'm not worried, but they're used to getting out in the morning, so I don't want to be messing around for a couple hours tomorrow. So I want to do all the prep work I can today, so tomorrow morning I'll just hit it, get her into position, get the birds sorted. That's the plan. I'm going to use this trusty old fella here as an anchor to pull off in this direction here. So we'll just put our rope around and put a trusty old clove hitch in this. If you're not too familiar with knots, I recommend knowing 2 knots, a clove hitch and a bowline. And actually it's a bowline I need to put in here. So that's the one where you go through the hole, around the tree, and back through the hole again. And that's it, simple. I can put 100 tons on that there. Well, 100 tons will break the rope, but I can put up to maximum pulling on that, and the knot will just flip free again. I've decided I'm going to try and squeeze the egg mobile right into the polytunnel. So I don't have enough room to pull it back this far, because the egg mobile is going to be right here, but by putting this pulley onto the tree now, I'll be able to pull off from down there, and we'll pull it back in, so it'll get me right close to the hedge here. It's pretty early, just daylight's just coming up, and it's now time to move the egg mobile. I'm a little bit nervous about this move because it's a big unit and I really got like one good chance of getting it in, but if I take my time, I'm pretty confident I can pull it off. So let's get at it. We're working pretty tight margins here to squeeze in here, but no harm done to this guy, and we'll just squeeze in past him. And we've got loads of room on this side to swing around. Okay, I'm just assessing where I'm at, and I want to get a little bit further forward, maybe another 5 meters, and then we're going to hook onto the back of it. By then we'll be down where the wheels are. Hook onto the back of it, steer the front of it to go up that way, and then come back in this way here. That's the plan anyway. Let's see how it goes. Okay, I've just re-rigged the whole egg mobile. I use the quad to steer now, pulling either left or right. I can control the front of it. We've got a rope tied onto the back. This is going to be a pretty tough pull, but I think we can do it. We're hooked on there, and it's pulling in this direction into our block, which is pulling back down by our winch, which is tied onto that tree down there. Now let's see how this goes. It's working. My job now is to try and line it up to get right in. I need to hit that back corner of the polycom, so I've got to maneuver these guys here to do that. I stuck another battery on here because this winch is definitely working today, so I'm just giving myself a bit of extra juice here, but I'm also going to stand a bit back because you can see the worst of the pressure's off. That first bit was a really tough pull, and now I need to go up here and check our angle and then adjust these wheels accordingly with the quad. Yeah, I need to bring these right around now and start going back in, and I want to get these back wheels closer up to there. Now you can see my line is hopefully good. The plan is to go straight back in at that angle and then turn these wheels 90 degrees and pull it in so it's perpendicular to the polytunnel, and I can hopefully slide in past that tree there. See if we can get it done. I think we're looking in pretty good shape, so we're right in here now. Just took a bit of time, a little bit of steering here, there, and what the plan is now is turn the front axle 90 degrees and just shimmy the whole thing in that way there. That's how it's going in my head anyway. Let's see if that works in reality. For turning, we just simply hook on to the, I've got my dolly tied onto an anchor here, and we just pull. It's probably enough. Check the angle. And go another little bit, and then what we've got to do is we've got to hook onto the back side of the dolly and pull it backwards. There, I think that's good. Yeah, now we go on the back side and pull it backwards. Okay, we're in, and a couple of quick jobs to do. That last turn in was quite severe on the tyres because I just pivoted straight round. So this tyre here is under a bit of pressure, so I'm just going to take around the jack and lift it up so the tyre can reset. And yeah, I'm tight at the back here, but I'm just going to make a little platform here so I can walk in and out easily. Happy days. I don't talk so much when I gotta concentrate, but it took me about an hour and a half or so to get manoeuvred in there, but birds are in now. I just want to go through my few plans, what I want to do to get everything set up now for the winter. And they're all having a good dust bath anyway. They're enjoying the bedding. Didn't take them long to figure it all out. And everybody's having a good dust bath and happy out. Well, like I was saying, I want to run my path down along here. I need to trim a few of these trees, these branches. Just that one by the solar panel there. I just need to trim them back a little bit. And I'm thinking about putting a couple of pallets here to level this up. I've already joined the egg mobile up with just chicken wire. It's pinned all the way down around the bottom. And then I've loosened off these hex screws and pinned it on all there, and then it's joined with tie wire on here. So the chickens can come and go pretty easy. One thing I want to do is I got to manage the I'm going to zoom you out a little bit here. I got to manage the manure now. That's my big job all winter, and I want to run a gutter along the top here because I don't want the water falling down here and then onto the pasture. It'll mean my manure will be wet. It'll be harder to manage. If I can keep it dry, it'll be much easier to manage. So I'm probably going to stick a little gutter on here, run it along the back, and I can run the water into the drain. That'll mean the manure underneath the egg mobile will stay drier. It'll need less carbon to lock it down. The other thing I want to do then is I want to take the weight off these wheels for the winter time. So I'm going to jack it up a little bit and put some blocks under these axles. Just take the weight off these wheels to save on the hubs. I think that'll be a good idea. The other thing I need to do is I'm going to put in a second battery, just because this time of year we get so much less light. I'm going to put a second battery in just to help the first one. And one of the last things I want to do is put a light. I'll run one LED light into just inside the door here, so that can be lit up as well. I have the lights come on at 7 o'clock in the morning for the chickens. That's when they start to lay, and so I'm going to move my feeder into here eventually. I won't put it in there straight away because you got to be very careful changing chickens environment like this. So it's pretty good. Before I used to not use the egg mobile and take all the chickens into the polytunnel and have new nest boxes, new roosts. That's very strange and a big kind of upset for the chickens. So I like this system here because their house isn't changing. So as long as they all go back in there at night, which I think they will, and I'll come here tonight as the sun's going down, and I'll definitely check and make sure that they're going in okay. Because that's really important that they don't get a little spooked, that they don't know where they are. So help them once I get them moving in and out. Then I'll move the feeder in here. I don't want to move the feeder in straight away because they might roost on the feeder at night, and I'd rather they go in there. One of the last things I'm going to do then is I want to run a hot wire the whole way around the polytunnel and the whole way in around the egg mobile, and I'll have that come on at night, and that'll be hooked up to the mains power, the mains energizer, just so if the fox does come along, he's going to be given the deterrent straight away. Because he could, if he wanted to, he could cut through the plastic, he could cut through the windbreak on the inside. I doubt he'd do that all in one night, but I'm going to put a hot wire there anyway, so it's not an option. Okay, we're up on blocks now, and that's just to make it a little bit easier on the hubs. Not necessary, but I think every little bit helps. So just take a bit of the weight, and everybody's doing a bit. I don't think I need it in the front because there's not as much weight in the front, and there's 4 tires on there as well. So my electric fence in place. I've just run one wire down along here. It's just, I just want to get it where the fox is going to be in snooking around. Boom, he gets a slap of it, he ain't coming back. And then I've ran it all the way around the egg mobile, and that's more just to keep Jess out, because Jess likes to run in underneath the egg mobile. So to give the chicken some peace, I've just ran it around there, and I had a bit of extra wire, so I just kept running, and it runs back all the way around. And has the door jamming me, but that there is just going to keep the fox at bay. That's where we're hooked on to the wire coming from the shed, and yeah, it should be a good job. Keep them safe. If I get worried with the fox getting brave, I'll just run multiple rows up and down here as well. There's still only like 100 meters of wire there, so we should be able to get it hot. This is a energizer that runs the main fence around the farm. Now, I actually haven't powered up that fence in about 2 years. It's just not necessary, I don't need it. It's only deer protection I'm looking for. So there's actually these wires. One of these wires run as an earth, which I've marked. Then there's two more. One runs to the north side of the fence and the other runs to the south side of the fence. I've taken the south side connection and connected that on to the wire going around my egg mobile. I don't have these marked, but I'm pretty sure it's this one here. I mean, famous last words, but I'm going to hook up this one, we'll power it up, and we'll go and check it. If it's not working, then we know we need to switch them around. It's the earth hooked up. Now, there's only, well, what is there? There's only about 100 meters of wire on that, so one earthen rod should be fine. I had multiple earthen rods hooked into this, then I moved them when I was doing a bit of work around the back, so one earthen rod I think will be fine. This is just underground wire, electric fence wire. It's quite stubborn. I just turn a hook on the end of it and push it up onto the little receiver. That's it on. I'm just tighten this guy on. Make sure it's got a good contact. This fencer here is from Voss Farming, a German company, and it's the Impulse Duo DV80, and it works on 12 volt R230, and this is a 5 joule 11.2 thousand volts unit. It's a big unit. It's one of the biggest units you'll probably put on a 12 volt. But here I've got it hooked on here, and then on the plug here I've just got a simple timer switch, and what I do is I set this to come on in the evenings right through till the morning, and I tend to have the fence off when I'm working around there. I don't need it on in the middle of the day, so I just set the timer here so the fence is only working when I really need it. Okay, now it's time to try it out. Put that on. There you can see we've powered up. This unit here actually has two modes. When you hold it in, it is an eco mode. You see it turns to purple. Sometimes when I'm running it off the 12 volt, this time of year, if I was running off my egg mobile, I'd probably run it in eco mode because I don't have as much sunlight. Solar isn't very effective here from October through till about April. And the other months is great. But I'm just going to go check this now. When I checked it, that was the wrong wire. So change the wire around. Oh, that's not looking good. You can see there it's hitting red, which means it's not getting a lot of power. So either I'm on the wrong wire, which I technically can't be, or I've got a problem. Okay, yeah, I got a problem. If you can see, that's just hitting about, you just can't see it, it's not picking up great, but it's only hitting up to 3000 volts. And that should be hitting way more than that. That line comes out from the white door there underground and goes over to the corner of that container, comes over to here, goes under the road, comes up there and runs down to the line. And that line used to work fine because it runs down to the south side of the fence, but we put in this container this spring and I think we might have cut through that underground wire, and it's earthing out in there, because it should be hitting way hotter than that. Yeah, that's more than likely what happened. I'm just trying to weigh up my options here. I could swing around and hook onto the north wire. I'd have to pull out the underground wire that's running all along there, run it across up there and hook onto the north wire. That's probably one option. I don't think I'm going to do that today though. The other thing is I can take out a mobile energizer and hook it on there. 3000 volts isn't enough, I think, to deter a fox there the way it's sitting there now. So I'm going to have to come back another day, I think, and do a proper job on that. And for now I'll just stick on a mobile energizer on it. Wasn't expecting that. Haha, I fixed it. I thought about it some more and I thought maybe it's earthing out, and it was earthing out on the Egg Mobile. I'll show you. A lot of the time when I've got a problem like that, I'll go off and start to do another job. I was collecting eggs there, and just gives me a bit of time to think about it, to, you know, go through what potential problems could be. I can hear this is ticking now pretty good. Yeah, we're hitting 6,000 there now. I don't think it'll flash up in this camera, but yeah, I'll show you exactly where my problem was. I'm going to flip these around. I was this wire here was rubbing off this piece of steel, so now that's clear. It's not earthing out anymore. Happy days. I do want to put a little spring gate across the bottom here. I'll do that when I get a chance. What I want to do now is I want to double my battery capacity. So my battery's up there. This is I think it's 120 amp hour. Yeah, you can see it. There's 120 amp hour lead acid battery, and it's currently charged up at 14.4, so it's fully charged. But to give me some extra oomph, I'm going to put in is 100 amp hours, so I'm going to be at 220 amp hours then. And I've got our solar panel up here. That's a 100-watt solar panel. As we go further into the winter, I might stick another solar panel. This panel is facing that way. I might want to put another panel facing that way. But I always have the option of taking this battery back in and charging it up too. Just our daylight hours are going to disappear fast now. I'm only really, right now, all the battery is powering is the open and closing the nest boxes and lights. So these two here, I think will do the job, no problem. One of the handiest tools I ever bought is a good Leatherman. This is a rebar. There's enough tools in this here pretty much to fix any problem I come up against on the go. Good Leatherman, and it has a knife, but I always carry a really good knife with me as well. And the last thing you carry is a flashlight. And with those couple of tools, there's not many problems. You can't get yourself by until you can get better support. We've connected red to red, positive to positive, negative to negative. So those batteries are wired in parallel now. And that means that we've got a combined ampage of 220 amps. If I crossed them over, the wires over, then they'd be wired in series, which would make it 24 volts. It would double the voltage. And so the solar panel, you can see now how that was at 12, or it was at 14.4, now it's gone down to 13.4. I have this charge controller set to go up to 14.4. It might be a little bit high, but it should be fine. These are deep cycle leisure. This is a leisure marine battery. And they're lead acid, and the charge controller set for that. And happy days. Put one light in here just over the door, and I want to put it in here because I'm going to have the feeder here now. I'll explain in a minute why I'm going to put the feeder in here. Let's just get this light up first. Hook this up, tell me if the light comes on. Why I want to put the feeder into the polytunnel is because if they spill out any feed right now, it just goes in the ground. And I don't want to let the chickens in underneath the egg mobile because it's going to be too hard to manage the manure if the chickens are in digging through it all the time. So I want to move it into the polytunnel, so if any grain gets knocked out, it goes in the ground, the chickens eat it up. It could become a rodent problem if it falls on here. And because my two big jobs, my two big jobs on the farm for the winter time is maintaining the manure and keeping on top of that, and maintaining the chicken's psychological well-being. So that's really what keeps me busy in the winter time, and the two things that I'm really focusing on. I'm not going to get around to my gutter today. I'll get that another day. But what I want to do now is go and get some pallets, and I want to make a little platform here with pallets because it's just slightly sloping, and as the weather gets wetter and wetter, it'll get muddy, and I'm going to be coming in and out with eggs. So I want to make a nice platform here, which is nice and level and user friendly. Okay, transpires, this pallet just isn't strong enough. So I'm going to switch it out for some tougher ones. I'm going to give these a quick screw down as well. Yeah, it's pretty good, eh? It's pretty solid. One more for there. I'll slip this Euro pallet in the end here. That should do it. Now just screw these down. Here we have it. So I'm going to wind up my rope, but it's not the prettiest in the world, but every time I come out of that egg mobile I'm carrying 90 euros worth of eggs. So if I slip and fall, that's going to be problematic. What I'm going to do now is this timber is going to get slippy, so I'm actually going to go up here and I'm going to put a bit of chicken wire on it, just staple it on so that it's not slippy in the wet. This guy here, I'll take him down. We'll put him on it. and we'll get back to it. That's me chicken wire down, and it's been a busy day for me. Our days are getting short. Sun don't come up until about 7:45 now, and it's like just going past 4 o'clock, and you can see the sun's just up there. I mean, I've got about an hour of sunlight left, and that's when I really need to be careful now with the birds. I'll come back later, about 45 minutes, check them. I'll turn the lights on the Egg Mobile, just make sure everybody's okay transitioning into the Egg Mobile at night, because it's a new entrance for them. So I'll just help them along with that, make sure everybody's okay. So I'm just up here taking a peek at the chickens. Sun's just set. It's just after going down. Now there's quite a few of them already gone in. I know it's hard to see through this mesh. What do we see? There we go. Sorry about the cobwebs, guys, but they're making their way in slowly. I've got the lights on in there for them, and I'm just going to continue to keep an eye on them. It can happen very much with corners. The chickens can start to pile into the corner on top of each other. Now there's a small enough flock. You've got a group of 300-500 birds. You need to be very careful. They can suffocate each other very easily. It's looking quite good in here. There's 80% of them. There's closer to like 85% of them gone in. And see, these guys are working their way down too. It's a bit strange for them to see me in here, but it's all new to them, so they're rocking it out. I'm glad that none of them started to bunch up in the corner. So it looks like it's going to be a success. That looks positive. So last 2, 4, 6 there now just going in. So we'll just let them mosey on in, then we'll go turn the lights off, check, make sure everybody's nice inside, and happy days. Been a long, busy day for me. Got a lot done today, but I'm tired. Those guys will be in by the time I get around. And that's it. These guys are all roosting, and they're just sorting themselves out. A few sleep on the floor in the back there, but the majority of them roost. You can see there's hardly half the roosts are used in this Egg Mobile. That's it for these guys. I'm going to turn the light out and say night night to them. Now, the nest boxes are set to open at 8 o'clock this evening, and the lights come back on at 7 o'clock in the morning. Quite difficult to see now because the camera doesn't capture it, but they've still got a bit of daylight coming through the roof, so they can get themselves organized, and then it'll be lights out. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or anything, stick a comment in there and I'll do my best to get an answer for you.